Ring that bell, SS&C Alps Advisors, whoever the heck you guys are, ring-ding-a-ling. New York Stock Exchange, run wall in New York City, closed for the day. Got some good news for you folks. Got some good numbers pretty much across the board. Ready for this? Dow Jones up 135 points, pretty good. Not bad. S&P up 26, good. Nasdaq up 94, good. Gold holds its own, up $21, good. Oil down, $1.46, really good. Jump over the crypto markets, boys, because you're going to like to see this. Finally, Bitcoin taking a breather of the big sell-off from 124. Up a little bit, we'll take it. Ethereum, very strong. Boys in the control room, you good with that? How about XRP, up 14 cents, 305. And Mad Dog, who's now jumped from XRP to Ethereum, at least partly, is also happy with that Ethereum price as well. So good numbers across the board. Let me just do this. I get a lot of voicemails. I listen to all your voicemails. Some people are like, Bolling, why do you do the markets? Why do you care? Why do we care? Because 70% of this country doesn't work for big companies. 70% of the country works for small companies being less than 500 employees, or themselves, self-owned businesses. Everyone goes to the equity markets to borrow money, to expand, to hire more people. You want healthy markets, guys. I'm not, as one guy called me, a money grubber. No, we all want a healthy economy. Trump wants a healthy economy more than I do. So if you love Trump, a better stock market is better for Donald Trump. Any way you slice it. You want midterms to go well? Have a good stock. You want to lose midterms? Have the market crash into the midterms. Then you'll lose the midterms. So stop getting on me about talking about the markets. They affect every portion of every one of our lives. That oil price right there, when you get under $60 a barrel, you will be thanking me because you will be under $3 a gallon of gasoline, approaching $2.50. All right, let's bring in, well, the guy who we know as Oscar El Blue Ramirez, who tells us there's a senator in the country of Mexico who's been fighting the cartels, so much so that she went to President Trump and said, help us, and now she's being, I guess, reprimanded by the Mexican government. Let's take a listen to Oscar Ramirez. Oscar, tell us what's going on in Tijuana, where you are, what's going on in the state of Mexico, especially with Lilly Téllez, the Mexican senator.
Yeah, Senator Lilly Téllez, I will describe it to you, Eric, as a Mexican hero. She's the only senator and the only politician who is fighting against the narco-government in our country of Mexico. She has had the gall and the courage to go after every narco-politician and every politician in Congress and in the Senate to accuse them to be in cahoots with the organized crime and the cartel. Just recently, in an interview with Fox News, she said, we need help from the Trump administration to fight the cartel and to fight the narco government. And immediately, the leftist progressive mercenary political party of Morena went after her and tried to charge her with treason and try to remove her from the Senate because the president of Mexico doesn't want to designate the cartels as terrorists and doesn't want to expose the dirty politicians that they are involved in our Mexican government, that if it wasn't for Trump and if it wasn't for the Trump administration, this enormous change, this 55 leaders of cartels that they have been extradited or delivered to the United States, the hundreds of thousands of criminals that they have been arrested, and more than 50% decrease of distribution of fentanyl. This would not be happening if Trump would not be in office. If Kamala Harris will be in office right now, it will be a complete disaster. And Lilly Téllez, it is the only politician, a Mexican hero, who has been defending the sovereignty of Mexico and going after the cartels and basically asking the Trump administration to come and pressure more the Mexican government to expose the dirty politicians. Eric.
Oscar El Blue, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, the president of Mexico, where does she stand with regards to Lilly Téllez?
Well, at first, she accused her in front of everybody and in front of the world of treason, to our country, because she misinterpreted and said that on the interview, Lilly Téllez asked for an intervention in our country of Mexico. She completely did not ask that. She's completely incorrect. It is against our Constitution, Article 129 of the Constitution of Mexico, that no foreign military can intervene without the consent of the Congress of the Union and also the Mexican president. Then later on, she said, we are not going to remove Lilly Téllez from the Senate, and also we're not going to accuse her of treason. Why? Because she's completely incorrect. The only thing that Lilly Téllez is asking, it is to fight the cartel, to fight the narco government of this political party that is clearly clearly in cahoots. Eric, let me just tell you a little story that happened. An entrepreneur in Ensenada, Baja California, a young man, had to close his seafood restaurant that he started from scratch, and he came out on a viral video explaining to the world that he is asking, the cartel is asking him monthly for a tax amount, el cobro de piso, that is better known over here, to pay for him to operate and to be freely operating his restaurant. These kind of circumstances are happening because the corrupt government, it is completely involved with the cartel. And the only one that has been exposing this, it is the Trump administration. Without the Trump administration doing this, we will be in a lot of trouble.
So Oscar, it strikes me that maybe Sheinbaum is concerned that Lilly Téllez might, again, now Sheinbaum was elected in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, to a 6-year term. I believe Mexican presidents have 6-year terms. So maybe Sheinbaum is concerned about Lilly maybe making a run at the prize, at the presidency, and to do it within this, before the end of the 6-year term, it'd have to be some sort of coup. But if you're telling us that the Mexican people are for cleaning up the cartel situation, that's not out of the question, is it?
No, it's not out of the question. That is what everybody wants. We want, the number one topic of Mexico is the insecurity. We have a 10+ month war going on in Culiacan that this government has been completely incompetent to stop that war. And of course, absolutely, what the Mexican president wants is to create this coup and to create this conspiracy against Lilly Téllez. What the mercenary politicians of the left, what they do is they put this watermark on every single one that is going against their narco narrative. And immediately they try to put them on this box. And what they try to do to Lilly Téllez is to charge her again with treason, so she will be unable to run for president. That it is our candidate. Eric, I will tell you this, hundreds of thousands of Mexicans are relying and are supporting Lilly Téllez right now as she is fighting the narco government inside of Congress, inside of the Senate, and she has the courage to go after the Mexican president to say, you are in cahoots with the organized crime and the cartel, and we need support from other governments to push this for our government to be clean and to have peace in our country of Mexico. Eric.
Oscar, can you get Lilly Téllez on with you on the show? Get her on Bolling. We'd love to talk to her with you, Oscar, or if you don't want to be, either way, we would love to have a conversation with her. It strikes me that Sheinbaum to refuse help. She's refused Trump's help. Trump has offered help. He's offered the military to come help with the cartel situation. She continues to refuse it. To call Lilly Téllez a treasonous person because she just wants to clean up the cartels strikes me that there may be some sort of financial dealings with Sheinbaum. Is she being paid off by the cartels?
Well, that is more than obvious, but categorically for her to deny in front of the world, in front of our country of Mexico, that the cartels are not to be designated as terrorists, and to use the justification that it violates Article 129, Donald Trump doesn't want not even a gram of piece of land of the Mexican territory. What he wants is this problem to be resolved and this problem to be eradicated. And the Mexican people, we are sick and tired of it. Under the AMLO administration, the past president, that it was Sheinbaum's successor, it's just 211,000 murders, Eric, on 6 years. 211,000 murders. And under Sheinbaum's administration, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, we will not have more than 1,200 laboratories that they have been dismantled. So, of course, Lilly Téllez, it is a threat for this new political party that is getting exposed to the world, are having in cahoots and to be involved with the organized crime and the cartel.
I tell you what, 20 years ago, Acapulco used to be a beautiful place for Americans to go and enjoy Mexico. Gorgeous beaches, beautiful hotels. You can't even go there anymore. It's become a cartel haven. Murders, kidnappings, etc. Cancun took over for Acapulco, and now we're seeing more and more murders of international people, not just Mexicans, on the beaches of Cancun now. These cartels are ruining tourism in the country of Mexico. How in the world does anyone say that trying to help clean up a cartel is some sort of treasonous activity?
It's because they're completely involved. Just recently, Pam Bondi gave out a statement about El Mayo Zambada that is going to spend his last years in jail and being locked up. And immediately, they said about his statements of El Mayo Zambada saying, I have paid politicians, I have paid corrupt officials. And the president said, well, let him bring the proof. This is just enormous, evidence that she is completely involved with the organized crime and with the cartel, basically Sorry about that, Eric.
That's
Just
okay.
basically being
That's okay.
involved
That's
with
okay.
the organized crime and the cartel.
I want to do this. I have to ask you this. This is important. You know, we love your reports. You come and you bring us information. You really don't hold back. You talk. Are you safe, Oscar? I mean, if the cartel, do they know the reporting you're doing on this? And I have to worry for your safety. Yes, we want to hear about it, but we don't want to put anyone's life at risk. And I have to say, you got big cojones to do that, but is your safety okay?
No, it's not. And we have been receiving multiple threats consistently. And, we have sent our threats to the fiscal general of the state right here in the state of Baja California for them to know what is going on. But there's no other way, Eric. There's no other way to fix this. We cannot stay quiet anymore. This has completely surpassed the security of our citizens. I have a son. I have a 10-year-old son. And my 10-year-old son, the other day that we were in the car and he was listening to the news, he heard, on the news that there was a dismembered body. And he immediately said, "Oh, that's normal, Dad. That happens every day." That kind of normalization of that conduct needs to stop. And this is the reason why we are opening up. A lot of our colleagues in Mexico, we're sick and tired of it. We're doing this not only for the Mexican people, but we're doing it for our sons, for the future of our children, and ultimately at the end of the day, because we want to fix this problem, Eric, and we think that we have a voice.
All right, Oscar, we want you to be safe. We want to hear the reportage, and it is important. And I know it's a passion, especially you being in Mexico, Mexican in Mexico, talking about it. But please be safe. And if you need to petition our State Department for some help if you need that. Oscar L. Blue Ramirez, thank you again for you're putting yourself at risk for our information purposes. Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you so much, Eric.
You're
like always,
man.
It's an honor.
You're a good man. All right, folks, are you stressed about back taxes? Maybe you missed the April 15th deadline or your books are a mess. Don't wait. The IRS is cracking down. Penalties can add up fast, 5% per month, up to 25% just for not filing, but there is help. We've been telling you about these folks, and they're great. Tax Network USA can take the burden off your shoulders and stop the spiral before it gets worse. They've helped thousands of Americans, whether you're an employee or a small business owner, or you haven't filed in years. Messy books, no problem. They've seen it all, and they know exactly how to clean it all up with direct access to powerful IRS programs and expert negotiators. That's the important part. They have expert negotiators on staff to work on your side. Tax Network USA knows how to win. You'll get a free consultation, and if you qualify, they may even be able to reduce or eliminate what you owe. More importantly, they'll help you protect yourself from wage garnishments or bank levies. So don't wait for the next IRS letter. Call 800-905-8000 or visit tnusa.com/RAV to talk to a real expert at Tax Network USA. Take the pressure off, folks. Let Tax Network USA handle your tax issues. All right, we have a new trailer dropping for The Edge. I haven't told you exactly what it is yet because I want you to really feel it because I really feel this. Here's the new trailer. I started with nothing but my body and my mind, and I fought my way to the top of 4 arenas built to break men. First, pro baseball, where every pitch can end your dream. Then Wall Street, where I became one of the highest earning traders in America. Then came television, primetime lights, millions watching every night, a test. And I put it in writing. Wake Up America, followed by The Swamp, calling out corruption by name. But The Edge isn't politics. It's not about fame. It's about fire. It's about proving yourself when everything is on the line. Only the strong survive it. Only the ready rise through it. This is The Edge. September, The Edge is coming.